Hello there. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Noel.
Hi.
How are you
Morning.
today? Good? All
Very
good?
good.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so we're here today to talk about your new initiative, your new project, which is the Food Service Circle. But before we do that, can you just introduce yourself so that everyone knows who you are? They may not, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I'm Wendy Bartlett and I'm the chair of Bartlett Mitchell. We're a boutique contract catering business, and we are business to industry caterers.
Okay, great.
And I'm Noel Mahony. I'm chief exec of a business called BaxterStorey. We are in the same sector as Wendy's business, providing food services and catering in the workplace predominantly. We also have a smaller business called Portico, which provides front of house and reception services.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks for introducing yourself. Right, let's get down to the topic at hand, which is the Food Service Circle site. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about why you've launched the site?
Yeah, well, if you go back to the early stages of COVID, sort of post-lockdown, Wendy heads up the Food Service Forum on behalf of UK Hospitality, and she was certainly keeping very good lines of communication open with all of our colleagues who are represented in our sector on that. Wendy and I spoke, I think it was probably about the second week in April, as we were both pacing our front rooms, wondering what we were going to do. And I think at that stage, the full impact about what was going to come was becoming really, clear. So we knew, unfortunately, that a lot of people were going to lose their jobs through no fault of their own whatsoever. And a lot of those people are people who've stood beside Wendy's business, my business, and everybody else, as we've been in growth mode for the last 15 years. So we felt, apart from making sure that their exit from our own individual businesses was professional, that we needed to come together to do something. And I think that collaboration thing was really important, Kathy, because we'd seen the benefit of collaboration through UK Hospitality with Kate Nichols and everything she's done. One voice. I've never heard hospitality talked about so much at government level and in the media and press. And therefore, I thought it was incumbent on us, as did Wendy and the rest of the Food Service Forum, to come together, not to be competitive on this, but to come together and deploy as many resources as we could to develop something that would be there to help those people who were, as I say, who were displaced as a result of COVID.
Okay, and that's what the Food Service Circle site is. It's a result of collaboration amongst companies in the food service sector to try and assist the people within the sector.
And it's just our sector too, because I think one of the things about our sector, it always gets a little bit forgotten in the hospitality world, even though it's probably, in our opinion, one of the best sectors to be within. And certainly within UK hospitality, we wanted to make sure that we were able to have a bigger voice within it as well. And that was really important to us, that we're seen as a sector that has as many needs as hotels, restaurants, etc.
Yeah, very important. And I agree with you. It's often overlooked, but actually one of the most popular sectors in many ways for employees to choose for many reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the Food Service Circle site. If I'm a job seeker or I'm an employee that, to no fault of my own, I've lost my job now, what can I expect to find on the site?
Well, I'm looking at the site at the moment, and so the design is very simple, very easy for people to be able to use. It's got about us and what our purpose is. It's got about resources, which is CV writing tips, interview preparation, online training tools, webinars. So the idea is that anybody could go and look on this site and get some help about what they want to do. And we've tried to create a library. So if you want to write a CV, and many people haven't written CVs for a while, how do you make them stand out? And I think Lynn Dickens did one recently, which was fantastic, that I've actually told all my friends to get their kids to look at, because it is such a, insightful way to make yourself stand out. So it's a resource to be able to go and look at it and say, right, I've never written a CV for God knows how long. How do I refresh interviews? For example, if they were interviewing for any of us as contract caterers, it would be have their webinars on there, so they'd get a little insight into what the business was, a little insight into what had happened, because most people haven't gone back to work within the environment, which has changed quite a lot, and there may be questions about that, so that will help them prepare. I think it also helps them that they can look at webinars and stay connected to the industry, so they don't feel they've been abandoned. So one of the teams that we Friday, someone rang me and said, actually, I feel like I haven't been thrown under a bus. I can see it's not personal. It's not, you know, whichever caterers have to let them go. It's actually all of us have said, look, okay, we've had to let you go, but we really will get you back one day. And this is the tool that will help us retain you. So once they've registered on site, on any of this, anybody registers, they become available to every contract caterer, so that we can then look at them as a first resource. And then also you've got latest news and blogs. So I think not only as a resource for the employee that has been let go, but employees that are actually on site at the moment and maybe looking to enhance their careers, refresh. I think people are a bit more aware of security, that maybe this is a great tool for making them feel secure, that they've got the tools to be able to go forward in new roles.
Okay, so it's enabling, it gives you instruction.
Yeah.
What, obviously you're talking there about the hope that you would be able to re-employ these individuals, but in the interim, and there will be an interim, will the tools on the site help them get a job somewhere else for a while, perhaps? Is that understandable?
Yeah,
Well,
very
Noel,
much so, Kathy. I mean, we've been really clear. We want to get our teams back to work. We'd love them to work in hospitality. That some may choose to do something else. It might, this time might breed a new cohort of entrepreneurs. You never know, who might decide to do something else. But we'd love them to work in hospitality. It's going through a difficult time at the moment. But interestingly, we were talking to some of our colleagues in hotels, and hotels outside of London, certain hotels are very busy. So therefore, we are pointing them towards where there are roles in hotels. So we just want to get our teams back to work. This sector will recover. Wendy's right. I'm biased. We're biased, but it is a fabulous sector to work in. We're really lucky. We're just going through a pretty big bump in the road at the moment, but in 18 months' time, 12 to 18 months' time, this sector will be back to whatever normal looks like at that point. And we will be back looking for young, bright, dynamic people who want to kickstart their careers, who are energetic and have got nice personality. And we want them back into the sector. We'll train them, we'll develop them. All of the companies in the food service sector do that. And we want to be able to continue to do so.
And I think last week was CH&Co and Deborah Holmeshaw. She did a section on, look, don't think of just business and industry within contract catering. Think about care. We do care homes. Think about, maybe some of the NHS type sites that we do. Aramark do oil rigs. So there are other things within our industry that are as strong or stronger than prior to, the COVID scenario. So it's not that we haven't got jobs. There are jobs elsewhere, but maybe people need to just readjust what they're doing. And we've had some great examples. I've had two people that work for us that have become entrepreneurs. They've started street markets while they've been off. And that may be a way, we supported them to be able to start their street markets. So I think there's some of the entrepreneurs will come through that. We've had two that do fantastic artists paintings, and two of our girls have now started selling paintings. So I think there is great hope, and sometimes just because a door closes doesn't mean to say that a door doesn't open that could be even better. So it's about, there is hope out there, and we will give you the tools on foodcircle.com. It will give you the tools to be able to do and to think differently, rather than thinking, actually, this is it, it's the end of life, I can't get a job. This is about actually looking at all of this. I've got to help they can reach out to any of us. We, you know, maybe the mentoring bit will be the bit we'll do next, and they can reach out to us and say, look, I've looked on here. Can you help me with this? How do I do that? But all the tools are on there. You know, we're almost speaking to them directly.
Yeah.
Kathy, sorry, just one last thing to mention in relation to the site, which I think is really important. It's all free. So
Yes.
to everybody, you can go, you can get online qualifications. Everything is free of charge. There is no cost to it. And in fact, that's credit to the way Wendy has corralled, I say corralled, some of the other colleagues might say something else, but has got everybody together to provide resources and support in here. So everybody has done that free of charge right across the sector, and it's all free to any participants.
We've had some amazing support actually from the, you know, people that provide training courses, people who have you know, got a wealth of experience, and they've allowed us to enter their courses and to say, right, we can provide those to our team. I think everybody wants to help. I think what's been really nice about this, we're exceptionally competitive sector when we're together. However, what has been really nice, you know, like Compass have shared all their training, the CH&Co, MJ, Learn Purple, you know, all of them have freely given their tools. And actually, I must give credit to Piers, who's been doing all our PR for absolutely nothing in organising it and coordinating it, and Sue Thompson, who works for Noel. Without those two, it would actually be really difficult. So it's been amazing how much people have put their time together.
So it's true collaboration, which is in the spirit of hospitality and the spirit of the food service sector as well, actually. So, you know, at the end of the day, this is a hub which is free to access, which is tailored to people within your area of the sector to enable them to move forward. And you can, you know, you can find a job outside of the sector or in a complementary area of the sector through the site. But obviously, the ultimate aim is for people to return to your sector.
Yes.
Time.
We
Okay.
don't want them to forget us. So, you know, it keeps us together, which I think is the first time as a sector we've had our own portal to showcase what we do.
Yeah. Amazing initiative, and super helpful for those that are using it. I know you've had some great feedback so far, so everyone watching this, go and have a look. So let's move on to employers. So there are employers across the whole of the sector. It's obviously not just food service, contract catering who have had to reduce their workforces. Pretty much everyone has had to. So if there are employers watching this who want to help those people that they're letting go and they haven't managed to create something like this, what would you say to them? How can they use the site?
Well, no, because
I mean,
you've been designing it.
There is no problem at all. As I say, Wendy has got great collaboration going on from all the members of the food service management piece of UK hospitality. But if there are other employers who want to be able to support, if they get in touch with Wendy or I or Sue Thompson, then we'd be more than happy to engage with them. No problem whatsoever. We're delighted. If there are employers out there who actually have vacancies, then most certainly, please, I would urge them. We got a hotel contact us the other day, which happened to be in Scotland, beautiful 5-star hotel, great vacancies. They would like to attract people from the food service sector. They got in touch. Their jobs will be advertised on the site. That's what we want to do.
Okay, that's great. That's good. Okay, so longer term goal then, as we obviously this is in the here and now, and in a way it's hard to plan too much because there are so many ifs and buts, aren't there? But let's look ahead at the coming months and years. Where do you see this sector going, and then how will this site continue to have a purpose?
Well, I mean, the sector, you know, all of us on UK Hospitality and the Food Service Forum have discussed it. There is a future. If you're going to go to an office, and especially now, it will need to be an attractive, collaborative, interesting place to be. So contract catering will have a place because of that, because employers are going to have to think a little bit harder about how they look after people in these times. And one of the things that the most interesting thing about this, whatever we do now as employers will be remembered forever about how you dealt and looked after your people, you know, what your messages were, etc., what your communication lines were. Already you hear quite a lot of people, oh, my company doesn't really speak to me, or, you know, my company's great. So people will remember that. And so within UK hospitality, because we've had such a successful sector drive within the government, we want to keep that going. And I think this site and this collaboration allows food service to stay right at the top of that agenda as well, because we were the first to get our guidelines done because of collaboration between all of us. We know we're very clear about what we want from the government, which differs quite a lot from hotels, restaurants, etc. So to make our voice heard, then that's really important that we make sure that we stay as a collaboration, especially with the allergen and the nutritional data that's going to be required, you know, within the next 5 years, which is going to be interesting. As a collaboration, then we've got a much stronger voice. So, you know, this is a tool really and a hook for us as an industry in terms of a goal. And the site, Noel's got very clear ideas as well about that.
Yeah, I mean, Kathy, so it was only 7 or 8 months ago, what was it, January, February time, after, you know, Brexit was announced, etc., and the extension deadline, where probably all of us individually were thinking, where are we going to be able to develop the resources we're going to need and the people we need into the future? Okay, COVID's come, and that's not a lot of us for a period of time. But I promise you, to anybody out there who's looking at food service as a potential career, it's an amazing place to be. It really is. The development opportunities are fantastic. There are no barriers to entry. You just really, really have to be committed, and, as I say, have a good personality about you, and you can go as far as you want, and that will return. So I think initially we started the website to be able to definitely help those who have been displaced. What's become really clear now is the website has its own momentum now, and that will be the place, I really hope, where all of the catering companies will come together to have one voice for food service as we go forward, so we can attract the best that we can get.
Absolutely. So I guess the message to finish on is, if you're looking for work now and you've come out of the food service sector, then this is a hub for you to be empowered and enabled to do that thing, right from understanding how to build your CV through to applying for a job to being approached for a job. So that's the message for job seekers. Yes. For employers, whether you're in the sector or not, but particularly if you are, get in touch. Have a look at the site, use it as a resource to support your existing employees or those you're having to let go. And then longer term, as the whole sector recovers, watch this space. It's still going to be extremely relevant. So I personally, I think it's a great initiative, and I know that everyone's really proud. It gives you a sense of pride, doesn't it, for the sector that come together.
I think all of us, yeah. And actually it has, I think what's been really nice, it represents probably about 90% of the contract caterers now. We've just had Aaron, Mark and ISS join us, so it's been really great that everyone's got behind it, and it's like, you know, a really solid team of people that are committed to it. So even though we're competitive, we still are a great sector, and we know that.
Yeah, it's a time of collaboration, and caterer.com are happy to support it, delighted to be able to do so. Well, yes, thank you.
Thank you. We have.
Yeah, thank you very much for talking to me today. I've really enjoyed it. And I know that everyone's going to find this very useful, and we'll be in touch really soon.
Fantastic. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Wendy. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.